It brings me misery beyond words to be placed in front of you sweet people with the foul and loathsome burden of defending that which has provided humanity with some of its most shadowy and dark moments in its storied stay on Gaia. That terrible steward to you and to me who finds great pleasure in pain. That grand and horrifying menace that has caused more tears to flow, more blood to bleed, more hearts to ache than all of the Jim Varney Ernest movies combined. That cruel and unusual soul-crushing torment that no good goes into just as no good seems to come out of. That affliction placed upon humanity by an uncaring and or malicious God. That terrible bitch of a stepmother to our wayward and bumbling species. I speak, of course, of agony. And while I realize that this is a competition and I should stay my course like a good lawyer and defend my client with a great vigor regardless of its innocence or guilt, I am saddened to report that I have no choice but to concede to ecstasy. How can I defend something that, as I said, is continuously the main problem of the human condition against what most find foolhardily to be the solution? I wish instead to illuminate for you what a world would be like in which all were ecstatic and none agonized. All overjoyed and none suffering, all pleasure and no pain. For agony is but a doorway to ecstasy, but a door which is very small and difficult to walk through. So let us take it off the table for now. Let us imagine a world in which ecstasy has been made easy. Let us visit this world through the day in a life of a vague and fabricated man named Dave, and see how the ecstatic fare. Dave awoke feeling fucking great. Just about as great as he felt the night before, and no less so than he felt in his dream world. Dave felt fucking great all the time. He turned to his lover, Susan, next to him, only to find that Susan was also feeling pretty damn good. Her eyes were as glazed as a Christmas ham as she stared to the heavens, possibly even conversing with the creator of the universe. Susan is happy today, Dave said to himself. There is no need to ask her how she feels. It is obvious she is happy, as all of the clans. Dave felt so good, he neglected to shower and eat breakfast. Since agony had been banished, no one bothered much with hygiene anymore, and even less so with keeping up with a healthful diet. He smelled like many piles of shit, and had not fed in weeks. His body was eating itself from lack of nutrition, but why was this to bother Dave? He felt so at peace and at one with everything, he forgot to walk his labradoodle, which he was too ecstatic to realize had died last Thursday. He walked to his car past a mailbox overflowing with bills. No time to pay those now that everyone's happy, he said. In fact, there was no one to pay the money to, as everyone on the planet was now dwelling securely in their own serotonin-laden minds and too consumed with pleasure to even collect the money they were owed. Dave laughed so hard when his car wouldn't start. Just think of a man doing 300 whippets at once and you will be able to imagine the immense guffaw that emanated from his maw. He slapped his knee many times and decided it was a lovely day to walk to work. As he walked the streets, he saw people laughing and staring at the sky amongst burnt-out cars and abandoned storefronts that were paid no mind. He remembered vaguely through the bright light of joy that shone inside of him that there was a time that he felt less joy. But there was something about this lesser joy that had been more rewarding, he thought. It was something that had to be fought for, to be struggled for, to be bled for. He seemed to remember that there was something about that struggle that made the lesser joy feel better. A surge of pleasure pushed this thought to the back of his mind as he thought of the laugh he and his boss would have about him being 3 hours late. And what a laugh it was! Or was it? If everybody in a corporate park is laughing, it can be difficult to tell if they're all laughing at the same thing. But that mattered not. No reason to bring everyone down with questions. Questions are the harbingers of agony, our new president had said. And the harbingers, as well as agony, are things we no longer have time for. Seeing as nothing but internalized pleasure was being had at work, Dave thought he would call it a day and spend some time in ecstasy next to Susan, who was also in ecstasy. As he walked home, he felt that it was good, that it was no longer hard to be with Susan. Before agony had been abandoned, they had fought often, and it took great care by both parties to understand or incite any sort of pleasure in the other. Now, with agony gone and their lover sated fully, there was no work to be done. This is good, Dave thought, as he felt a drop of water run down his cheek and enter his mouth. Salty. That night, Susan and Dave sat starving in front of a television set that was not turned on. There was no need to talk or go over their day as they both felt fucking great. And as the world crumbled outside, with all of the things beautifully done through struggle and toil by humanity throughout time erased, Dave and Susan died together without ever noticing a thing. Now what can we learn from the story of Dave? That we are all Dave! In a world bereft of agony, we have no impetus to lift ourselves above our present situation to one more elevated. In a world solely of ecstasy, we will stagnate and die. In a world bereft of agony, we find no reason to support each other, to try and understand each other. It is with that I rescind my concession to the rat bastard ecstasy. And I say to you tonight that a vote for agony is a vote for reality. For it is the agony of our experience, not the ecstasy, that pushes us to question and seek and discover. And it's this agonizing process that leads us to ecstasy that makes any of this any worthwhile. Thank you very much.